Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Just like I mentioned in my previous video, I'm going to create a series for you guys on how to create a good UMA or at least an A UMA. So with this account, if we go to profile and then click the progress, you should be able to see that this account is fairly new. It doesn't have 30 races yet. Yeah, so like the career completed is below 30. So with this account, I aim to help you guys build a better understanding on how to finish your careers. So without further ado, let's start our career. So in this first walkthrough video, we are going to focus on Daiwa Scarlet. Since Daiwa Scarlet is actually the first UMA you would be able to play if you did not skip the tutorial. So as you can see here, these are the normal parents that you will see. None of them are good, but we're going to use them for reference. Now, for the other parent, we normally use our borrowed parents since they have better inheritance, especially skills. Now, when it comes to support cards that you want to use, before you choose your support card, you always need to refer to the career. So, whatever the career or the races that your UMA will run will be the basis for your support cards. And as you can see here, the longest race that Daiwa has is the Aero Makinen, which is a 2,500 meter race. So as I'm checking right now, all of the other races are either medium, mostly medium with the oaks, and there are mile races. So that means you don't need to invest fully on stamina. Now ideally, what you want to run are 4 speed and 2 power cards to have an easier one. But as you can see here, I do not have enough power cards, so we'll just use Super Quick and Seiyun Sky stamina card as a replacement. Alright, so now our objective would be to increase the friendship level for our support cards. So junior year would be ideal to focus solely on increasing the friendship level. Now, for increasing the friendship level, we follow a strict priority. This is mainly for me. I do my preferred training first, then the number of support cards in the training. So for example, if there are 2 support cards for speed and 3 for guts, I would always use I will always do the training for speed. Then for turn 2, I always ideally want to check the training first if there is any at least 3 support card in a training node, and if there's none, I would normally go to recreation to increase the mood, because increasing the mood for non-max MLB cards is very important. Now this is a character event, so you will see here on the top left the character and the name of the event. So when we go to Game Tora, we just need to go to the character section and find Daiwa Scarlet. Now once we find Daiwa Scarlet, we just need to scroll down and look for the name of the event. So once you find the event that you're looking for, you can choose there the choice that you want and apply it on the event. Easy as pie. Afterwards, go back to your normal training, aiming to increase your friendship level as high as possible. So here, we have guts with a lot of support cards in it. That's why we're going to train with guts. Now here's a best example. After the character event earlier, we now have a support card event, as you can see on the portrait on the top left. So again, we're going to get the name of the event, then we will go back to Game Tora and go to the support card section. So here we're just going to do the R since it's a Majiro Ryan, our support card, and just look for Majiro Ryan. Now like the character support card, Just need to scroll down, look for the event, and choose the choice that you want to apply. Once you made your choice, we're going to talk about preferred training facilities. So when you do your career, you should have at least 3 stats that you have in mind that you want to train. Personally, for me as a free-to-play player, you want to focus mainly on speed, stamina, and power. Now, stamina and power can change on priority depending on the distance. So since Daiwa has a long distance race in her career, we would want to do stamina. But since that race would be on the very end of her career, I would actually prefer or would actually suggest that you focus on power first, since power trains both stamina and power. Another thing that I want you to consider would be the chance for you to succeed in a training. So normally for me, I would tolerate up to at most 15% failure chance. After that, I wouldn't gamble on it, since if you do not have a Tazuna card, especially for URA Finale, having failed trainings could definitely ruin your account. So try to train below 15%. Alright, so this is the first goal on every Uma's career, so the make debut race. Now for the purposes of this video, I would try to just skip the races, and also I would suggest all of you guys to put your Umas on front for the make debut race. Now this is regardless of its rank, if it's A, G, F, it doesn't matter. So the reason why you want your Umas to be put on front first is to avoid getting blocked or caged. So on the start of your first turn for the second half of the junior year, I want you to mark the hopeful stakes. Now why would you want to mark hopeful stakes? There are 2 things that you want to do. Firstly, on almost all Umas who can do medium or long races, it is ideal that you do a hopeful stakes race, since this race is fairly easy to compete on and get first place. Another reason is for you to get a quick reminder, especially if you don't like looking on the month of year or turn you are in. It gives you a quick reminder that after hopeful stakes, you will have a New Year's turn, which is very important, especially if you're trying to get the energy that you get from New Year events. Now, so before you do the hopeful stakes race, I want you to make sure that you don't have full energy. So if you have a full energy, I highly discourage you to do the hopeful stakes race, because after this race, there will be a New Year's event where you can get 20 energy when you choose the middle option. So again, if you have full energy or almost full energy, make sure to just do a training instead. Also, if you have a better training, so for example, if you have at least 3 support cards on one training node that you prefer to train, for example, you have 3 support cards on the stamina node, I highly suggest you to just do the training instead of racing. Now, if you follow the training and made sure that you have friendship training on all of your support cards by this turn, so this is 2 turns before your summer camp, you should have 2 turns, at least 2 turns to do a rest. Normally, I just do 1 turn before summer to not waste a turn on resting. Regardless if I get night owl or not, I would try to do 1 turn for rest, then another turn for weight training, or a turn for a friendship training with a preferred stat. Now, ideally during summer, you will have all of your friendship trainings available on their preferred training. So here, you should capitalize at least 3 friendship training and ideally one weight training. So if you don't have enough energy or if you started the summer camp with less than ideal energy, what would happen would be 2 to 3 friendship training and 1 rest. That would be the case, which is not very efficient, especially if you're trying to up your stats. Alright, so we're now down to the last 2 races for the classic year for Daiwa. Now, you will have 2 consecutive races here, the Shukasho and the Elizabeth Cup. Now, ideally after those 2 races, you should have at least around 60 to 70,000 fans. If you win all of your previous races, including your Hopewood Stakes, you should have at least 60,000 fans. Now, once you get that amount of fans, I highly suggest, if you have more energy or if you have a ton of energy, to do Japan Cup right away. Now, you if you have a lot of energy, you won't have a debuff if you do a 3rd race. You will only get that debuff if you don't have an energy and you made a race. Also, there might be a chance to have your mood drop, but you should not be concerned about it, because on the 2nd turn of the senior year, there is a chance for you to get your turn back to great mood. Now, if you've been following along, you will have this event called a 3-leg race. Now, this event will grant you the 20 weight and 20 skill points that I mentioned earlier when I created the goal. Now, you will also notice that if you have a good amount of fans and you have a good amount of stamina, if you have a better support cards and better parents when you started the career, it would be ideal to just do the Ari Makinen, since Ari Makinen is just a 2,500-meter race, and if you have at least 400 stamina, you should secure first place quite easily. Also, you can notice here that I'm not actually buying a lot of skills. So ideally, you should win most of your races with your stats alone. You don't need to use any skills or buy them prematurely. Now, if you manage to get at least 100,000 fans at the end of the classic year, you should have this event at a carrot farm give you an additional 30 skill points. Now for the New Year's event, always pick the top option to get an additional 30 energy, alright? Now, just a quick reminder, if you have a full energy after the New Year's event, always consume your energy even if you have a friendship training on wheat. The reason why is for that raffle time event. When raffle time event occurs, you get a good chance to have an additional 20 energy. Now, sometimes you will get some mood up, some additional stats, but ideally you will get energy from it, and not consuming your energy after the New Year's event would be just a waste of resources. Alright, so let's talk about your goal for the senior year. You have two goals for the senior year. Get as much friendship training as possible, and also reach at least 240,000 fans by the end of the senior year. A quick reminder, so here is another event. So if you don't know what options does an event have, always go back to Game Torah for reference, look for the character, search for the event, and just pick the option that you want to get. So after the Osaka High, you will have the event of Inspiration as well as the Skill Up, which also includes the Mood Up. So this is a good checkpoint to remember, especially if you get a mood down between between the New Year event and the Osaka High. You don't need to invest in recreation to increase your mood because of the Mood Up event after the Inspiration. So for the third year summer camp, make the same preparation you made on the second year summer camp, prioritizing on getting as much energy before the summer camp starts, and then spending all of your energy on the summer camp to get a 3 training with 1 week training. Alright, so we reached the final 3 turns of the senior year. Now ideally by this point, you would run Japan Cup and Ari Makinen, which is on Daiwa's final goal for her career, so that you could reach at least 240,000 fans. Now if you reach this goal at the end of this career, you should have an additional 30 skill points with an additional 10 Director Akikawa points if you haven't maxed her out. And that is it for Daiwa Scarlet's career walkthrough. I hope you managed to get some ideas on how to run your career, because basically Daiwa Scarlet's career is a basic blueprint that you can apply to almost all medium and long race UMA. With also an exemption, you can also do this for careers, for mile runners. Now, with this, I also want to mention that you would want to prioritize doing G1 races for fan acquisition, so that if by the end of the career you somehow get lucky and get a 3-star UMA, 3-star Blue Spark UMA, what I mean. So if you get lucky, you will also get G1 Sparks. Now these G1 Sparks will grant additional stats once you get them on your UMA for the career. Now as you can see here, I haven't bought any skills yet. So most of the skills that Daiwa has is her ultimate. So that's the only thing that she is relying on. Other than that, she is also relying on her stats. And even though I don't have maxed MLB cards, aside from the Kitasan block that I borrowed from a friend, now I almost got in double S for my speed. That alone brings my ranking for Daiwa at an A. So with this account, with bad parents, with bad cards, I managed to get a decently stat UMA. What more can you do if you substitute the parent? So instead of doing the G parent, you have a better parent. And instead of using non-max limit break cards, you can replace some of my cards that I used in this walkthrough to create your own, not create, or to use for your own career. With that, you should get a better result, and most probably you will get a better UMA than this. And by the way, guys, thank you very much for watching. This is almost a 30-minute video, and if you manage to stay until the end, thank you very much for watching this far into the video. Now, without anything else, I just want to thank you again for giving the time, and I hope I managed to give you guys some tips. That's all for me. Stay tuned, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.